What is up, everybody? Coming back at you again. It is Thursday, February 3rd. Another really successful day yesterday. I hope you guys have been keeping up with the videos because I've been putting out some pretty good lines lately. Haven't been able to hit myself. 11 of my last 12 three slips have missed by one pick. So that's really frustrating, but we're just gonna keep hitting it. My girlfriend was able to hit her slip last night. She won $100. She used the jaw line. She used Tyrese Maxey's assist, which was my lock of the day. She used under on Spencer Dinwiddie, which was my under lock of the day. And she used Mason Plumlee. So she went ahead and got herself some money yesterday. We fell just short on our slips. Tyrese Maxey hit and John Morant hit, but CJ McCollum only was able to get 15 points. It's just one of those times, he went 1 for 9 from the field to start the first half, and then scored the first 8 points to start the second half. So up and down roller coaster ride that game was, but it is what it is. McCollum didn't hit, which busted both my slips, but also Tobias Harris fell just too short on my 5 slip that I did yesterday. And R.J. Barrett and Desmond Bain rival I also went with, and R.J. Barrett ended up scoring 23 points. So let's get back at it today. We got some more locks for today. Alright, so make sure if you're new to the channel, you give it a subscribe. I normally don't do stuff like that, but we've been doing pretty good the last couple of days. We're almost up to 50 subscribers, so that's pretty dope. Super excited about that. Thanks for all the support you guys are showing me. For my over lock of the day today, it's going to be coming from a 6:30 Chicago-Toronto game, and there's going to be a lot of money bet on this game. I have a really big feeling. The sportsbook have this game at over-under at 224, so they're anticipating this game to be a pretty high-scoring game. And there's another player on this team, on one of these two teams, that's going to be playing for a revenge game, and that's going to be Demar Derozan. I'm going to go over on his points once again. Kind of been riding the Demar Derozan train just a little bit of late. But yesterday we went with the Terry Rozier over on his revenge game. He hit, and the day before we had Wendell Carter on his over on his revenge train, and we hit. And so I'm going to keep that just rolling. DeMar DeRozan over 27.5 points versus Toronto. This is, of course, where DeMar DeRozan played almost the entirety of the beginning of his career. Also, when these two teams played earlier in the season, DeMar managed to grab 7 rebounds, had 7 assists, and had 29 points. Played 37 minutes in that game. So a thing I love to look at when I'm looking at lines is I love to see if a player's getting a lot of minutes, because obviously the more time they're on the floor, that means the more assists they can get, the more rebounds, the more points they can score. So you always want to grab somebody who is getting a lot of minutes in rotations for a team. And they were actually supposed to play 2 other times at the beginning of the season, but those games got postponed because of COVID, so that's a bummer. But in the last performance, he did manage to have 29 points. Also just been on fire recently in his last 3 games, 29, 23, 32. And he's also been filling out the stat sheet with rebounds and assists. So I know if you'd like to go with his rebounds and assists, they do have it set at 40, which is kind of a lot, low-key. But I do like his points a little bit more. Also coming from the same 6:30 game, Chicago-Toronto. This is the hype train that everybody's riding. It's Mr. 5 straight 30-point games, Gary Trent Jr. Chicago, without Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso, like we said just the other day, lack perimeter defense. And even though Ayo Dosunmu in his own right is a pretty good defender, and Javonte Green, it's not the same as Lonzo and Alex Caruso, obviously, because guards have been putting up so much points against the Bulls. Also anticipate this game to be a very close game. Gary Trent Jr., another one of those guys. The Toronto Raptors play their guys for lots of minutes. Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent, those guys play almost 40 minutes every single night. So you love to see that. So we'll hop on this Gary Trent Jr. train. Eventually, he's got to stop scoring 30 points, but right now they have his line at 21 points. Gary Trent, I like Gary Trent's over for 21 points. Now, I'm going to throw one quick line at you guys that just strictly depends on if Kyle Lowry ends up playing. Jimmy Butler's over 5.5 assists. I love this line if Kyle Lowry doesn't play. Yesterday, he was listed as questionable with personal reasons or whatever. This morning, they said he will play. Then they said he's game time decision. Then he went through shoot around. So if Kyle Lowry ends up playing, probably bank on that not hitting, because Kyle Lowry is going to be handling the ball a lot more, getting much more assists. But Jimmy Butler over 5.5 assists, I like if Lowry doesn't end up playing. A line that has caught my eye from the 6:30 game, Phoenix versus Atlanta. Mikal Bridges of late has been scoring the ball pretty well. Last 3 games, 27, 26, 18, playing around that 39 to 40 minute per game range. Again, I said I like to get players that get a lot of minutes. He's also been rebounding pretty well. 8 rebounds, 8 rebounds, 5 rebounds. They have a PRA for him, and they have a points line for him, which is great. I love it when underdog gives us both, right? So Mikal, they have his points, rebounds, and assists at 20.5, and they also have his points at 13.5. So if you had to choose one or the other, Mikal Bridges, he can't score at times. I mean, obviously, but he rebounds the ball pretty well, and he's a pretty good playmaker in his own right for the talented guards that they have on that team. Atlanta does give up a lot of points to guards, so we've been over this in the past too. I would take his points over his points, rebounds, and assists. So I like Mikal Bridges over 13.5 points. And our last overline of the night is going to be from the 9 p.m. game, Golden State versus Sacramento. Kevon Looney over on his rebounds. Obviously, he's been rebounding like a madman of late. 12 rebounds, 14 rebounds, 15 rebounds against the Spurs, Rockets, and Brooklyn. Don't like to just take that into account, though, sometimes. Sometimes you got to go look at how Sacramento matches up. Sacramento allowed, just a few games ago, on Tuesday, January 25th, allowed Robert Williams to have 13 points and 17 rebounds in just 27 minutes. Clint Capela had 8 and 8. That's a person you could probably compare to Kevon Looney as a Clint Capela. Joel Embiid had 36 and 13. Mitchell Robinson had, give me just a second. Mitchell Robinson had 13 and 9. And then Nicholas Claxton, just last night, you have to remember too, the Kings coming off a back-to-back. Just last night, Nicholas Claxton had 23 and 11. So obviously, big men are able to get a pretty good, decent amount of rebounds versus the Kings. Sometimes a pretty good amount of points. But I love Kevon Looney's over 11 rebounds versus Sacramento. Quick injury update for you guys. Just got this tweet just a few seconds ago. So Trae Young is a game-time decision. Zach LaVine is questionable. Zach LaVine does not play. Obviously, DeRozan's line is going to go way up, and he's obviously going to score a lot more points. DeJounte Murray at this point is questionable, which is a chick I didn't know there's anything wrong with him. But it doesn't look like Jakob Poeltl is on the injury report, so that's good. Jimmy Butler plans to play. De'Aaron Fox to be determined. Questionable on Cade Cunningham. D'Angelo Russell is questionable, and Kyle Lowry is a game-time decision. All right, I've been looking around for quite some time. I know I give you guys a lock of the day and an underlock of the day. Not really seeing a whole lot that I like as far as underlock of the day. I'm going to go with Clint Capela at the 6:30 game, Atlanta versus Phoenix. If Trae Young plays this game, Clint Capela will hit his over. If he doesn't play this game, plan on Clint Capela to not hit his under. Because obviously Trae Young runs that pick and roll with Clint Capela very well. So if he doesn't play, Clint Capela just won't get as many rebounds, and especially easy lobs that he gets with Trae Young all the time. They're playing a pretty good interior defending team with the Suns, so look for Clint Capela to go under on his either points or points, rebounds, and assists. All right, and as of 3 o'clock Central Time, this is what you guys have been waiting for. This is going to be my slip, my 3-slip today. Probably only going to do a 3-slip today, especially with all the injuries later that kind of really affect this slip. So I'm only going to do this 3-slip probably. Also, my lock of the day has been 3-0 the last 3 hits. My 2-1 on my unders of the day. So I'm been rocking with that. Let's see if Demar Derozan can continue our hot streak. But this is going to be my slips for the day.